China has legitimate reasons not to participate in the upcoming Swiss peace talks. Andrew Korypko via Substack reports China's objective national interests are advanced by positioning itself to play a key role in politically resolving the Ukrainian conflict, even though it'll closely work in coordination with and arguably through Brazil to this end, since the West will not participate in potentially forthcoming Chinese hosted talks. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokeswoman announced last Friday that her country will not participate in the upcoming Swiss peace talks because they lack the three important elements of recognition from both Russia and Ukraine: equal participation of all parties, and fair discussion of all peace plans. She also referenced the Sino-Brazilian joint statement from a few weeks back about their principles for peacefully resolving this conflict. What follows are several background briefs on the subject. Now, to summarize, China wants to lead its own peace process, but the U.S. won't allow Ukraine to participate in any such talks hosted by its systemic rival, China, that is, since it does not want to give Beijing a grand diplomatic victory. The upcoming gathering in Switzerland will not amount to anything since Russia was not invited, nor would it be treated fairly if it was and it attended, which is why Medvedev does not want friendly states to take part of it. At the same time, President Putin signaled Russia's openness to compromise. Accordingly, China believes that it's possible for a non-Western peace process to arise in the wake of the inevitably failed Swiss one, likely in coordination with Brazil, per those two joint statements from a few weeks back. Like Moscow, Beijing also does not want other countries to attend the upcoming talks, albeit for its own reasons relating to having them attend its own potentially forthcoming ones, possibly hosted by Brazil. These diplomatic dynamics are naturally occurring, but Zelensky does not see things that way. He smeared China over the weekend by claiming that Russia, using Chinese influence on the region, using Chinese diplomats also, does everything to disrupt the peace summit. It is unfortunate, he said, that such a big, independent, powerful country as China is an instrument in the hands of Putin. The reality is that China has legitimate reasons not to participate in the event and to encourage others to follow its lead. As explained, it's not sacrificing its objective national interest for Russia's sake as the latter's junior partner. Rather, these self-same interests are served through its analyzed policy, which aims to lay the basis for a non-Western peace process to emerge before November's G20 summit in Rio. The West has never ever skipped a G20 summit, and Brazil has continued voting against Russia at the UN even after Lula's return to power, so it can't be smeared as a Russian or Chinese puppet. Thus, there's no semi-plausible reason for the West not to participate in these talks there, even if China helps organize them ahead of time. Prior to then, there might even be a Sino-Brazilian analog to the upcoming Swiss talks sometime later this summer, where in one of those two organizations, a multilateral summit on this conflict with the West and Ukraine might decline participating in, though both would probably be invited for appearance's sake. Once the G20 summit in Rio rolls around, China and Brazil could make the case that these parallel peace processes should be merged into a single one whose details would be hashed out during that meeting. Considering how unlikely it is that the West would boycott the G20 solely because Brazil might decide to put this on the agenda, irrespective of the degree in which it's organized and promoted by China, it's very possible that a more inclusive and fair peace process could emerge by November, the basis upon which it would be built in China's 12-step peace plan from last year, though perhaps with a few adjustments taking into account the need for Western and Ukrainian participation. In any case, the point is that China's objective national interests are advanced by positioning itself to play a key role in politically resolving the Ukrainian conflict, even though it'll closely work in coordination with and arguably through Brazil to this end, since the West will not participate in Chinese-hosted talks. Zelensky was therefore lying through his teeth yet again when he smeared China as an implied Russian puppet, since it's fiercely independent and is doing all of this on its own free will. And this is on Zero Hedge by Tyler Durden, authored by Andrew Korypko via Substack. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.